Entrepreneurial clinicians, and welcome to This is Private Practice Live. It's Tuesday afternoon and I feel like I've been awake forever. I don't know how about you and how you're going today. Look at that, my fatigue is turning up because my words are not doing the thing that I think they're going to do, so they're jumping around the place, so bear with me. It's been a bit of an emotionally laden day for me today. I had a medical appointment. I needed to have yet another test, which I'm grateful for. Thank you, Medicare Australia, for wanting to take really good care of me. And one of the things I was really anxious about was poor customer service, about being kept waiting, being left in a room without any instructions, having yet another male person do things to parts of my anatomy that I don't want other men touching. But none of that happened. Hurrah! I worked something out today. All of these medical and medical appointments that I've needed have really messed with my self-confidence. It's hard enough having a cancer diagnosis without it messing you up with all of the people that you then need to go and see. But I used to work in hospitals. I had spent a lot of time working in hospitals, and I love the buzz and the sense of mission that comes with being in a hospital. So today I determined that I was going to look like a hospital employee without the uniform, because they're the really important ones. So I put on my work clothes. I had a folder under my arm, which is essentially my security blanket of information, and I just walked around like I owned the place. And I tell you what, it really helped me to get in the frame of, I'm here for a service, you told me to arrive, these are the expectations I have, and I didn't have any rubbish turn up today. Test was done, the sonographer treated me really well, we had a bit of a laugh. Had my own little moment where I'm like, I wish I didn't have to do this, but we got there and we got all okay. Hello, Linda Mottram, lovely to see you. How did you know I was going to go live? Just randomly go, that's it, enough work for me today. That was a nice experience. Because one of the other things that's really, really tricky, and I think this is useful for us, thinking and getting ourselves ready to work with prospective clients or understanding where clients are coming from, is getting to an appointment and having to tell your story again, or having people potentially ask you or put you in positions where you feel vulnerable again, is really, really tough. Yet for many of us as health professionals, we think that people should just turn up and bare their soul and be okay with it, because we're here to help. I can't reinforce enough the amount of work we need to do as health professionals these days to help people make the decision to seek out help. I read a startling statistic yesterday. Here in Australia, 6 men a day successfully take their own life. 6. Successfully. That's not something I want to be successful at, which means we still have a huge problem with people reaching out, asking for help, even knowing what help is available, and understanding that just because we can see a need, we can see the problem, doesn't mean that the client is ready to address that problem. And this is one of the difficulties that we have in private practice, because in private practice, when we go into session with a client, we can do all of that stuff around the problem. We can go, your issue is intimacy, and I'm going to teach you how to deal with intimacy. But you come at me with intimacy in your marketing and I am going to run away. I find that incredibly intimidating. I find that incredibly confronting. I don't know too many people like me who actually will go, yes, you're right, intimacy is a huge problem. Please let me burn my soul to you before I get in the room. So again, I think it's really important that we realize where our clients are, where our prospective clients are at when we are talking to them with our marketing messages, as opposed to where they're at when we're actually doing the therapeutic work with them. There's two different places, two different conversations that we need to have. Now, ideally, you are having the pre-therapy conversation before the client comes in and has the therapeutic conversation. You really don't want to be selling people at the same time. That would be, I can see where that could happen. There are places for it, but it's not something I think we want to be doing as a general rule of thumb. So we've got to get really clear about this conversation that we're having with people before they come into the room, and then how we're going to change that conversation, or how that conversation becomes more sophisticated or more therapeutic once they're in the room. So I used that example of intimacy and communication earlier because I just know that that's something that a lot of people want to talk about, yet as a marketing tactic or as a marketing message, it's not necessarily the thing I'm coming to you wanting help with. It's actually something that would repel me. So I wonder if that's useful or insightful. I also wanted to share with you something completely different to that today. That's not what I thought I was going to come and talk about. And I just wanted to ask you how you're going with your money management, because we are still working through this COVID self-isolation, complete disruption to the way we used to do a work thing. And I'm just wondering if you have realized by now that some of the behaviors that you had prior to isolation and prior to COVID around money possibly need to change. And I hope many of you are not just sitting there going, I'll just wait for this to be over. I'll just wait for this to be over. Because this is really an amazing time for us to reflect on what money means, how we use it, and what we need it to do for us. You cannot avoid money discussions if you're going to be in private practice. Clients pay for our services. If they're not paying directly, someone else is sponsoring them. We need money to pay for rent. We need money to pay for our computers. It's like money is a tool. It is a resource. And I had an incredible conversation with one of my inner circle who have decided that they're going to call themselves the Daring Dozen in the last couple of weeks, who's actually been able to significantly reduce the amount of debt her business was in during this COVID period. Not because she stopped spending, but because she had the time to focus on what she needed the money to actually do. And she is smart and she is savvy. She looked at spending habits within the business. She didn't necessarily stop spending, but she stopped spending on things that weren't necessary. She renegotiated. She got rid of some lazy taxes, which forced me to go, oh crap, I bet I've still got lazy taxes around. So imagine coming out of this whole COVID situation going, financially, we are in a much better position than when we went in because of all the work I've done to reduce debt. Now, some debt is good, some debt is bad. I'm not going to give you a lesson on debt now. What I do want to encourage you to do, however, is distance yourself from the emotions that you have around money. And the best way I know how to do this, and what I've taught people for years and years, and that I come back to all the time, is if you're anxious about money, focus on what's coming in, not on what's going out. Focus on what's coming in. Focus on what's, because it's so easy to go to this sense of, I've got to stop spending and I can't do anything. And then you feel like there's a noose around your neck, and then you fall into scarcity mindset. And that doesn't just turn up when you're looking at dollar signs. It turns up in your energy. It turns up in your generosity. It turns up in your marketing, and it's ugly and we don't want it. And I really wish I could just go, whooshka, scarcity mindset gone from every health professional everywhere. Whooshka, it can go from me too. So I'd like you to have some serious discussions with yourself this week about, what do I want my money to do for me at this point in time? Now, you might be at the point where I just need to break even and pay my bills. That's where I'm at. Right now, I want us to break even. I don't want to go into more debt. I want us to break even and keep paying the bills. I don't want anyone losing jobs. I don't want any of my contractors losing work. That is my commitment. I've got other people who are wanting to grow. I've got other people in my world who are leveraging and changing the way that they make money. And then I've got really smart people who just go, what can I do differently that's going to bring about a result that sees me reduce the debt in my business? That is pretty cool. You cannot be in private practice and not address your money issues. There is such a correlation between our health and our capacity to earn. That is my book, which I'm not writing this year. I have given myself permission to not write it this year because cancer. And I'm going to play that card. That'll do me well. So I am going to go and finish up my work for the afternoon, and I will look forward to talking to you again tomorrow. Until then, go be your awesome